And for those that are wondering the sale of it, the Angelos family bought it for under $200 million. And the sale is being reported at being for over $1.7 billion. Was that with the Dr. Evil?
Billion.
Yes.
What an investment.
Billion. Yeah, it's it really is. But obviously the other name that you guys are probably referring to, there was another name in there. The last name is familiar with mine. Calvin Edward Ripken Jr.'s name was thrown in the ring, wasn't it, guys?
Oh, yes. Calvin Edward Jr.
Just tossed in there.
I think it was just a hand me. Just get in there, Cal. But I will say this, and all jokes aside, I know a lot of people want more conversation about this topic. And I promise you in due time, we will talk about it, and you're going to hear it straight from me, and there's going to be more conversations, and I want to give you the best context that I can, but also I want to have respect to my family and for all this with the deal that's going through, because the deal is not official. There's so many other moving parts that have to be done. And when the time is right, you come back here and I will give you details of what things mean and what it is going to do moving forward if it's all done correctly. Okay. And I will leave it at that, because I hate to tell people this. I know I'm doing media work now, but I still care about my relationships first. And I want to make sure I go about things the right way. And I say some dumb shit, but I'm not going to overstep and say anything, at least in this case. And in due time, you are going to get the full story from me right here. But I do understand, Baltimore, how much you care about the Orioles. And I hope that you believed me when we said this a while ago, Brad, when we started this show.
Yep.
And Rocco doing Rip and Rock, the Baltimore Orioles were never going to leave Baltimore. That was never going to happen. MLB loves the Orioles here. The city of Baltimore loves the Orioles. And this is going to be a golden age for the team. It's a young team with so much upside. The sky's the limit. And I can't wait to see where that goes. And also for 2024, nothing's changed for this team, by the way, whether this deal goes through, guys. It's going to be the Orioles are going to compete to try to win a World Series. The Orioles are going to try to go back to the playoffs and have their young stars take another step and see who else is going to be a part of the equation. I know I don't try to get so long-winded with this, but I want to drive the point home because this is the Ryan Ripken Show. It's named after me, guys, in case you didn't know or forgot.
Crazy. That was literally just said too.
Oh, not for long, maybe, according to this guy.
Yeah,
I might have to.
Might have to sell tickets.
Of all the co-hosts you have on this show, like it had to be Zach. It couldn't have been Kevin.
Who
couldn't have
has
been the Brad show? I don't care about me, but you?
Yeah. Let's look at
Absolutely.
this. Let's look at our options. Who puts butts in seats? I just say dumb. Yeah, I say dumb stuff into a mic and people eat that up.
Well,
I was a personality hire. I was the personality
You need to have a personality to be a personality hire.
Hey,
we got a new one.
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to get back to it, I will say this, and the only reason I'm saying is because it has been said by Calvin Edward Ripken Jr., is that I am also excited for the future of the Orioles and the next step that this takes and whatever it means. I think it's going to be a lot of positive things, especially with who else is involved. And I think that, it would be great to see the names that are being thrown around as far as the group that is taking majority ownership of the Orioles. It's a lot of money there. And I would say that it seems as if that could compete with the likes of the Dodgers or Yankees or what have you. So I'm actually pumped if that ends up going there and that's what ends up transpiring. I'm really excited as an Orioles fan to see what happens. So
I will say though, do you think that I think so much about the hype and how excited everyone is in part because of how low everyone was. We've talked about the roller coaster. It really was just one of those things where everyone was at their lowest. And especially with the Ravens, it felt like the big thing was, everyone, when people were upset, it's like, nothing's going to change. It's the same old Ravens. And then it's like, it's the same old Orioles. And then suddenly it was like, wait, it's like, there's some change in my sports life. And like, it gave people just something to go towards of like, maybe it's going to be okay. Like people had given up on sports. Like, I saw so many people like Baltimore sports are just going to always find a way, even after watching the Orioles, how they ended last year. It's like, my sports life is cursed and we're at that low moment. And then it's like something, something new.
Well, I think people are wallowing in the loss. And, I think people are unaware that, hey, this Orioles team is really good. It's really young and they're going to have a great season. But then this news drops and it's like, oh, wait, like, yeah, the Orioles, like they're exciting and they have all these guys and core pieces. So I think that the news just kind of jump-started everyone like, oh, wait, let's just, the Ravens, it was terrible how it ended, but let's shift, right? Let's shift into this other team in Baltimore that took a huge step last year, and now they can build on that.
And they can. And go ahead, Rock.
I'm saying I think what's great about this, I know you can't say like much about it right now, like you said, until everything becomes official. So so I'm going to respect your wishes, but I think what's great about it is this guy, David M. Rubenstein, is a Baltimore native.
Yeah.
He's from here. He grew up watching this team, I'm sure, going to games at both ballparks, I can imagine. And to now have a piece, have a share, have that majority stake or the control stake, they call it, in this team when this thing goes through. Obviously, it needs to go through the MLB ownership group to become official, that transaction. But I mean, it's in the works. The Orioles put the statement out. The agreement is official. It's been agreed upon. This is not like rumors or reports anymore. Like, it's happening, but obviously things still need to happen as far as getting it done and finalized. But for this guy to be a homegrown guy and a billionaire on top of that, he's probably going to want to spend money. And I don't think that happens right away. Like people could be asking, oh, when are the extensions going to get done? When's Adley going to get extended, or Gunnar, or Jackson Holiday when he's ready? It's like patience, people, patience. I feel like the time will come. I feel like this guy is going to put a great plan in place. He has a solid group around him, including your father, Rip, who's on that board of investors that you keep making faces about it, but still he knows ball. He knows baseball. So to have someone like that, to have the people surrounding him that he does, and to have money and to be a homegrown person on top of that, I think that's a recipe for success going forward. And I think the Orioles fans especially have a lot to be happy about for the foreseeable future. I think this is going to really take off in the coming years.
Yeah, and again, short term here, by the way, regardless, there's nothing 2024, spring training's in 2 weeks, guys. That's when it starts.
Yeah, there's
so
we're
like
going, by the way.
We're going spring training. Yeah, not spring breaking, spring training.
We are going.
That was so much less cool. Actually, I guess that is just as cool. Depends on.
I know, Zach, you're like, I know you still want to be spring breaking. We understand. You're 23.
Almost 24.
Well, we're proud of you. You're a
Thank
good
you.
kid. But I just want to read this for people that didn't see this. And again, these are not my words. This is why I appreciate everyone respecting where I am. The Orioles. What happened, Rock?
No, I was just making fun of you. Just continue.
Well, that nothing new there. The Orioles have been entrenched in this city for decades and decades. And I told people this a long time ago. When the Colts moved out of Baltimore, the two teams that were in the region consistently, it was the Commanders, formerly were the Redskins, and the Baltimore Orioles. And so people, no matter what, some people, obviously a lot of people are Ravens fans in Baltimore, but that love for the Orioles has been here and it hasn't gone away. But what's been dormant is Orioles' success over the last 3 decades. And we talked about it so many times. In the last 40 years, the Orioles have made the playoffs 6 times. They haven't gone back to a World Series since 1983. That's a long time. So the ultimate goal for whatever happens is to see the pride, the energy, and above all, a championship come back to the city of Baltimore, because the fans here deserve it. The team is working hard at it, and everyone involved, and it's going to be a glorious time. The last thing I'll say as far as with my family involved, and again, I promise you, when the time comes, I will speak more on it. So hang in there. Trust me. I will speak more on this. But the last thing, I will quote Calvin Edwin Ripken Jr. via X or Twitter. It is, I'm excited to once again be a part of the Orioles organization, and I thank David Rubenstein for including me in the ownership group. The Orioles have been a part of my life since I was a child, and this is a special day. I look forward to this opportunity and will do whatever I can to help the organization. Let's go O's. And so the point that I want to make here, at least for that, and I'll just leave it at this, the city has a lot of pride. Oriole fans have a lot of pride. And the Ripken family has a lot of pride for the team. And I know this was something no one wants to see the team have more success than my father. I will leave it at that. Gosh, I gave him a lot of compliments there. It feels weird, but I can do it. And I joke around, guys. By the way, like he's my dad. I love to just keep it light, keep it light. And you guys know it. You guys rip on me now too for all types of shit.
Ripping on Rip. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
I feel like fathers and sons just rip on each other anyway.
Yeah.